I remember 1 kilometer was like 40 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. It was at night. I could not see the top. I was like, this is taking forever. And then it was so windy at the top. We were basically covering our faces, and we were like, oh my God. Honestly, I was like, am I gonna survive this part of the race?
Hey, welcome everybody back to another GottaRunRacing podcast.
Yes, indeedy. We're a little race hungover today.
Yeah, we had our first race of the year that just took place, the Lost Treasure Trail Race, and nobody found Jesse James Gold.
No, they did not. They're going to have to come back next year to keep looking.
They were looking, all right. It took them a lot longer than they thought.
Yes, it was a hot day.
Hot day and hard trails.
Hard trails, just to give you an idea, our first place 10K-er, young guy, very good runner, road runner, took 50 minutes.
And he
thought it was going to be about 38.
Yeah.
So that just gives you an idea of how tough this trail is.
Yeah, wow. Well, there you go.
They loved it.
They loved it.
They loved how tough it was.
Yes.
Except for maybe Karen's climb, which we'll talk about another time.
It's part of the race. But the funny thing is that the first 10 people, they run right past the aid station, taking nothing. And it's like, okay, welcome to trails.
There you go.
All right. And who's on the podcast today?
Well, we've got Stephanie Simpson from Quebec. Yes.
Très bien.
And she has not been on the scene too long, maybe about 7 years. But she has amassed herself quite the resume.
That we're going to talk about. She's was going for the Canadian record for the
100-mile women's record.
That's right.
Yeah. She's done Big's Backyard.
And she represented Canada there. And then she just finished her Cocodona 250.
That's right.
And that's what we're going to talk to her about today.
Yeah, I'm excited to chat about that. So let's get to it.
Coming up.
Welcome to the podcast, Stephanie Simpson. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too, and congratulations on your recent finish at Cocodona 250, not even 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes, not even. No,
not
it's
even.
Like a week and a half. Yeah.
Well, before we get into that, we always like to start by asking you how you got into running. How and when?
Oh, that's a good question. I started running in maybe like 15 years ago. I was like in my early 20s. I was like not into running before that. I was like mostly doing like sports at school, like basketball, soccer, but not into running. But I've always liked running. But I only started running when my mom got sick. I think it was a way to like cope with the stress. She passed away like a year after that.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and my first race was, I remember, a 10K, and I had no clue what I was doing. I ended up running like pretty good, like 44 something, and I was like, hey, this is fun. And then I started running more, and then actually it becomes something that I do love. But I remember at the beginning it was just like most people, you don't like running. You just do it because you have to do it, or yeah.
Exactly.
And I only started running like ultras like in 2015 after Charles was born. And my first one was a 50K, and I remember I was like, this is over, I'm done with running, this is too hard. And like everybody else, like a week after, I signed up for my first, I think it was 50 miles. Yeah, it was Beast of Burden. And yeah, after that, it was more and more. Never stops.
We don't know much about Beast of Burden, was it? So how was Beast of Burden overall? How was that whole experience?
It's a flat course. I really like Beast of Burden. I have no clue, probably because it was in the first one. I did 2 times the 50 miles, and I try 100 miles, but I DNF on that day. But it's in Lockport, New York.
Mm-hmm.
I think they stopped for a few years, but now I think this year it's in August, I think. Yeah.
So how long did you road run and race?
From probably 8 years before I switched to, so I did New York Marathon, Boston, all of those. Yeah.
And what made you start doing ultras and why go to the next level?
I remember when I started running, I had a fascination with the Badwater. I was like, how do people run in those conditions? And it always been something like, wow, I'm amazed with that race. And still to this day, I applied 2 times and it didn't work. So maybe next year, hopefully. But yeah, that's probably why I did switch. But I remember one of my friends was like, try 50K, it's fun. And I was like, no, it's too long. It takes forever. And I actually did love it. Yeah.
And in 2018, you took on your first 100-miler at Javelina.
Yeah.
Javelina.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Sure.
It's one of our favorite races too.
Oh, I loved it. It was so fun. I want to do it again one day.
Yeah, it's quite the party, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So what were the surprises moving up to the 100-mile? What were the challenges you faced, whether it be in training or on race day?
You know what? It took 3 times before I was able to run 100 miles. I had like this 120K. I don't know what happened, but every time I was getting to 120K, something happened. I think it was mental. I don't think it was physical. And it took like this, it was at the Javelina that it did work. But before that, nah. I had to work on the mental part of running.
Right.
I was just wondering at Javelina, did you dress up in a costume because it was Halloween?
No.
No way.
Mostly the people that do the race at night, no? That they dress.
Yeah, the jackass race or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and you don't want to race 100 kilometers, 100 miles, I mean, with a costume.
We saw some pretty crazy costumes. Well, Norm did it first, and then I did the 100K a couple years ago, but there was a guy in a full suit. There was another guy, dressed like a lizard, like you couldn't even see his face. So whenever he wanted to eat or drink, he had to put it through his eye holes. And he actually ran a really good time.
Yeah, he did well.
I just like, that's such an extra level of suffering.
The question is why?
I don't know. It's Halloween.
I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I know. I wouldn't do that.
No, never.
And then in 2021, you competed in the real big dog's backyard, and you're taking on some really serious runners like Courtney Dauwalter. How was that whole experience when you finally get to be with other
your competitors? Yeah,
international runners.
I went there, but I knew that I only got there because it was a chance that I had. It's not something you can say, okay, I'll come back next year instead, because I was sick. And how you call that? Pinsels, is that what you call I was sick, and then I took 2 weeks off, and then I said, okay, I'll go anyways, and we'll see. But after 29 hours, I knew it was over. But it's really hard. I mean, the trail part of during the day, it's pretty hard.
Well, you accomplished 120 miles?
I don't know. I think in hours it's 20. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's nothing to sneeze at.
I have to go back though. I have to go back. Unfinished business.
Well,
but it was nice to run with Courtney and Maggie and people like that. Yeah, that was amazing.
now that Laz has he has your name in his ear, see, he knows about you, Laz.
Yeah, he knows. He knows that I want to come back. But I mean, my heart was so broken. I did so much training to get there, and then you get sick, and then it just doesn't work. But
what is it about that type of event that you like? What's the appeal for you?
Well, it's really mental.
Mm.
I mean, it's all mental,
Right?
Because in the end, you can basically not walk the whole thing, but almost.
Mm.
Because you have an hour for like 6.7 kilometers. So yeah, you can probably run 1 kilometer and walk the rest.
Interesting.
Wow.
And you'll make it. I mean, you won't have a lot of time to rest and eat, but I mean, in the end, what do you really need?
Well, that's the thing. Do you think that if people who run it quickly in order to have that time, that kind of plays on your mental game too, because you're thinking all the things that you're going to do in that, let's say 15, 20 minutes. And yet it goes by so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're like, oh, I got to go again. It's almost better to just keep going and then take a minute or two to do, change your shoes or have the right nutrition. I feel like it would be harder to have more time mentally.
Yeah, unless you can sleep. And you take that time to sleep, because I mean, at some point you do need to sleep, but I mean, at the beginning you don't need all that time.
Right.
So what is your strategy?
Well, I during the night I know that I was going faster because I wanted to have more time just to shut my eyes, like for 4 or 5 minutes. But during the day, the trail at Laz was pretty hard. So I was like, okay, I'll go for like 52, 53 minutes. So that gives you like, I don't know, 7, 8 minutes. And yeah. And then the bells, and then you have to go back.
I would be so afraid to miss the bell. I'm going to be sleeping through the bell.
No. You'll sleep and dream about those bells forever after.
I would be on the ground sleeping at the start line, just so I don't miss the bell.
Yeah, you won't miss it because you have the first after like 3 minutes, and then 2 minutes, and then 1 minute. So
it's like a snooze button.
Yeah, exactly. You won't miss it.
So why did you choose Cocodona 250?
Because I didn't get in Badwater. Yeah. Well, it's kind of my fault because they asked for 300 milers, and one asked to be ran in the last 13 months. And with COVID, I only did 3 times a backyard, but no 100 miler race. So yeah, so it didn't work, which is okay. It shows that sometimes you have to work more on something that you really want. I'm fine. It's fine with that. Like 2 days after that, I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? And then someone said, oh, you should do Cocodona. I said, well, yeah, it's 250 miles. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I watched a video, and then I said, okay, fine, I'll do that one. I'll have more than 100 miles. And you want something done in the east.
Yeah.
Check,
you got it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Before you got to Cocodona with the winter that we had,
Yeah.
how much time before the race did you get there?
On Saturday, end of the day. And the race was Monday morning. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. So now the training's done and you're on the start line of Cocodona. Tell us about your feeling at the start line before this thing takes off.
I was kind of nervous. I was like, how does it start? Are people going really fast? Are they walking? Or like, it's so long. I mean, they cannot just go really fast. And I was just, okay, it took like probably like 2 or 3 hours before I was like, okay, now I'm okay. I'll do my things, and yeah, I was pretty nervous. Yeah, it felt like it was like the first time I was doing one of those races.
Well, clearly your strength is in the heat. The heat is not.
No.
It must be because you're picking all these hot races. You want to do Badwater.
And you're always smiling.
Well, I mean, no, I'm not really good with the eat, but I'm getting better, so it's a good thing.
What was the most challenging thing, would you say, with that event?
Lack of sleep.
Lack of sleep.
Lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have any like dark moments. From the beginning to the end, I knew I was going to finish that race. But the lack of sleep, it's pretty hard. I mean, it's not something you want to train to. I mean, I will not sleep for. I won't do anything like that. So it's hard. It was the first time because even at the backyard, it was 2 nights. That's it. Not even 1.5.
Right.
43 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you got to the 100-mile mark, I think it's just a little flag in the middle of a field or something like that. When you saw that little 100, what were you thinking at that time? Going, oh, I'm not even halfway yet.
I was okay. I still felt pretty good at that time, so I was okay. It was just part of it. I was like, okay. I was more happy, like at mark, like because I have never ran more than 289 or something kilometers. So I was, I'm getting like after like, oh, this is more than I've ever ran, and I was more happy. And even after 43 hours, I was like, oh, this is different. This is interesting. But yeah, the 100-mile, I think I didn't really care.
When we talked to Noel Kingston last year, who ran the inaugural event, he pretty much had a beer at every aid station.
Oh, nice.
Did you have any beer along the way?
No beer. No, I had lots of cheese.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. Too much cheese, probably not. I'm kidding. I don't know why. It was the only thing that I was able to eat. Yeah.
You survived on cheese? Cheese.
Crackers and cheese. Yeah. Crackers and cheese.
Hey, that's the French way.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Wow.
But I mean, sometimes you try something, it works for one race, and then you try again at another time, and it just doesn't work. But this time, yeah, cheese and crackers was the thing.
Any interest in Moab?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few out there that'd be pretty good to challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you mostly like the flat type of running, eh? Nothing in the sky running, nothing with a hill in the mountains. No, eh?
I only started running, like trail running, a year ago. That's it.
Okay.
I'm pretty new to all those trail. Yeah, when it's too technical, I'm not so good anymore.
And you did well. 89 hours, 5th female. That's incredible.
Yeah, I wanted to be like 85 to be honest, but yeah, 89 is fine. The last going uphill, it's Mont Elgin or Eldon, something like that. It was so hard. It was so hard. I was with Melody and she started crying at some point because I was like, yeah, it was like, this is taking forever because it's like 3 kilometers, but almost 1,000-meter
elevation change.
Exactly. But you're going so slow. I remember 1 kilometer was like 40 minutes.
Yes.
It was at night. I could not see the top. I was like, this is taking forever. And then it was so windy at the top. We were basically covering our faces and we were like, oh my God, this, honestly, I was like, am I gonna survive this part of the race? And then you get to the last aid station, and then after that it's downhill, and then a little bit of trail, and then you go back on road, and then it's the end. Yeah.
Then you're in Flagstaff, right?
Exactly. It is. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you've got on your calendar this year, you have the Barkley Fall Classic.
Exactly. Hopefully I'll run again the championship for backyard in October. Yeah, probably. I'm doing another one in Rivière-du-Loup,
Mhm.
which is in July. And in August, we're doing the Tour du Mont Blanc with the kids.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, it's
Very-
walking, but it's still nice. Last year we did Traversée de Charlevoix, which is 105 kilometers. But now it's a little bit more. We'll see how it goes.
Would you ever want to do Barclays Marathon?
Yeah,
You know, you real that's that's serious climbing. That is.
I know. You know what? I think I love races that are just crazy. Races that, but when people don't really want to do it, it's probably something I want to do. But you know what? I think it's more like just to show, or you can do anything you want to do in life.
But where did this come from? This mental side of you. Where did you think this came from?
I have no clue, but I remember when I was like maybe 12 or 13, I was listening to G.I. Jane, and I was going on the internet and say, okay, how do you get into the SEALs? And I was like, yeah, probably start somewhere from G.I. Jane, or I don't know. But yeah, I think I like the mental part of it.
Mm,
If you ever do get into Badwater, that would be the perfect race for you.
sounds
Yeah.
like it.
It is
Yeah.
flat. It's hot. Well, you'll get it better with the heat, but
Yeah.
road
It's
running.
road running. It's
It's road running.
Yeah.
Just stay on the
You-
line.
Exactly. Even on Cocodona, sometimes we were going back on road, and I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. And then I was going faster. Yeah. I love trail running, but yeah, I'm still a little bit more of a road runner.
Mm.
Well, we wish you luck getting into Badwater. I know you're not going to give up on it until you do.
No.
Exactly.
I'll
So
apply until he says yes. And
excellent.
he knows. He knows. He knows. It's okay. I still have time.
Absolutely. You got lots of time. You're only in your mid 30s.
Yeah, I still have time.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Thank
Stephanie.
you so much for having me. It was fun.
Thank you. And hopefully we'll meet you one day at a race.
Thanks.
At
You too.
Badwater.
Bye. Yeah, Badwater.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
There you have it. That was Stephanie, fresh from Cocodona 250.
Yeah, she's a beast. She loves to suffer.
Yeah. And I think Badwater would be the perfect race for her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. She's going to get there one day, and she's going to do very well.
And she's not giving herself credit for doing well in the heat, because the heat can just destroy people's games.
Her mental toughness is
Yeah.
stronger than the heat.
Exactly. It's incredible. Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her. If you want to hear our extended version of our chat with Stephanie, check out our podcast at GottaRunRacing.
Cheers.